Good afternoon. Well, almost evening. Anyway, hi everybody. I wanted to come and talk to you again about some little money saving tips. And I wanted to specifically talk about an incident that happened to me, and not just me, lots of people in South Jersey. This last month, a lot of people in South Jersey received electric bills from South Jersey Electric that were like quadruple what they normally pay in electric fees. It was obviously discovered right away. There was a lot of posting on social media about it, so much so that actually I believe even someone set up a Facebook group where people were sharing pictures of their bills to show, how much their bills had gone up. And I was one of those people. My bill for electricity went up exponentially. It's normally around $40 in the winter, and it was like $230. So it was like this crazy amount. So I knew right away that something was wrong, immediately contacted the provider and got it straightened out. In fact, here I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can show this without, if you can see this spike, like, look how crazy this is. This right here is July and August. This is when I have air conditioning on, right? So, and this was supposedly for January. I mean, that's so amazing. Any of you who live in South Jersey know that we have the most insane hot summers, and if you're going to spend money on electricity, it's going to be on air conditioning. So, but this got me to think about something that I don't see a lot of people that are talking about debt consolidation or frugal living talking about, which is, even though we consider our utility bills a fixed income, there are still ways to lower these. So they're almost a hybrid. We know we're going to pay them every month, which makes them fixed, and they're kind of a necessity, which makes them fixed. But they're also variable in that there are ways that we can reduce these bills if they're getting too high. There are ways we can figure out to bring them down. So a couple of ways that we can do that. First of all, before you even think about how you can save on the bills, is start really looking at them, audit them, and see if you see changes like this one I'm talking about, where there's just like a massive jump in your usage. Obviously something's going on there. Your meter was read wrong, something. And maybe it's not quite this big, but it's enough for you to take notice, give them a call, figure out what's going on. Very often these are read, they call it an estimated reading. They actually like shoot a gun at the meter and read it, and they can be wrong. So if it seems higher than normal, even if it's not that much, you can always call the company and say, look, I want you to come out and I want you to do an actual live reading of my meter and have them read the meter. Another thing you can do is you can contact them directly, both the electric company and the gas company, and ask them, are there ways that I can save money on my bill? Very often they're going to tell you about things like turning down the temperature on your hot water heater, getting an automated thermostat that will turn down the heat during the day when you're not at home, when you're at work, and also turn it down in the evening during certain hours where you are going to be asleep, you're going to be under blankets. So those are just two things right there. You can also do this with the water department. Very often the water department give you tips on how you can save on your water bill if you pay a water bill, which includes installing some really inexpensive low flow shower heads, things like that. Sometimes there's even different systems where they'll provide some of this at a lower cost, like LED light bulbs and low flow shower heads. So it's always good to contact them directly and see what kind of deals they can make for you and how they can help you lower your bill. Another thing is, if you're buying new appliances, look at the appliances and look at the Energy Star rating. See how much these estimated to cost you a year. This is a really good thing to do if you're buying something like a washer or a dryer, which eat up a lot of energy. But this even goes for things like microwaves. And sometimes replacing items with an item that's not necessarily new, but newer, can save you a lot of money. A good case is refrigerators. Old refrigerators tend to be incredibly energy inefficient. And often the seal around your refrigerator is part of the reason it's so inefficient. Also, one of the things you should be doing on a regular basis with your refrigerator is pulling it out from the wall, and you want to take your vacuum cleaner and you want to clean those coils that are in the back that'll help it run more efficiently. There's a lot of little hacks like you can do like that, which will help you get better efficiency from your appliances. So another thing would be, well, And this is a way that they will try and convince you to save money, but I really don't advocate it. Okay. So when I was thinking about these bills and people were talking about these bills, there were actually quite a few people that had paid the bill before they even realized something was up. And now they were waiting for rebates, which if you've ever dealt with a company like this, it takes much longer for them to get a rebate back to you than it does for them to take the fees out of your bank account. I am not a fan of automatic bill paying through your bank account. First of all, they have all of your information. If you cancel their service for whatever reason, they may still draw it because it's automated monthly, and then you have to kind of beg them and keep on top of them to get your money back, and it's a nightmare. I've had to do it. So I don't really advocate it. But one of the things that I do think is a good way to save money is to go paperless with them. Very often they offer a discount. It's not a whole lot. It's usually like $2-3, sometimes $5 if you go automated paperless on your bill. And when you go paperless, you still get the bill. You can print it out if you want to look at it or if you want to keep it for your records. But basically you're viewing it in an email online, and it can save you money. And, honestly, it saves paper. So it saves some trees, right? The other thing is you can look at monthly plans, which I think are an okay idea under certain circumstances. If you have a monthly plan, you should definitely not let them set up the monthly plan until you've lived in a place for at least over a year, preferably 2, because you want to see really what your energy spending is, how much energy you're drawing, how much you're using, before you decide what your monthly rate should be. And these monthly plans, if you're not familiar with them, are basically you pay the same amount every month, and you pay in your off months when normally you would pay almost nothing. Like I have gas heat. So in the summer, my gas bill is like $6 because all it does is heat my hot water because I don't have the heat on, right? So I could set up a plan with them where I pay $50 every month. And then in the winter, when it's really cold, if I have the heat on a lot, instead of getting a $150 bill, I'll still get a $50 bill. But it also means in the middle of July, when I'm not using gas at all, I'm still paying a $50 bill, which actually works very well for some people. And of course, there's always the idea, if you're really struggling, apply for the different services. In New Jersey, it's called LIHEAP, and it is basically, it helps you with your electricity and your heating costs. Another thing you can do that could save you a fair amount of money is to look at any household changes if you do go on one of these plans and see if you could pay less. Like if I had a monthly plan, but then my kids went off to college and it was just me, I'm definitely going to be using less electricity. So why should I keep this original monthly plan that I have? So even with a monthly plan, you still want to do an audit. So the bottom line here is what I'm saying is you need to audit your bills. Even though they're fixed income, you may have budgeted the same amount every month. You may be actually paying out around the same amount every month. It's a really good idea to always audit your bills, even your fixed income. You want to look for things like mistakes, like this case with my electric bill. It's a mistake. You want to look at usage is higher. Why would the usage be higher on a certain month when it wasn't on another? Maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe it's something that was happening at your house. Was it Christmas and you had the trees and the lights and you were using all this extra electricity and you had tons of people staying with you and they were, using more lights and taking more showers and whatever, right? So these are ways that you can keep an eye on extra costs. But it's really important to audit because a lot like having money is understanding how much of your money is going to be spent in certain places and why it's being spent, instead of just blindly paying it because, hey, everybody's got to pay their electric bill, right? So if that's what I wanted to leave you with today, was just pay attention to your fixed income, your fixed expenses, even though we know we're going to pay them every month, even though we know they're around the same amount. It's always a good idea to really take out the bill and take a look at it and really look at it and make sure that it's in line with your other bills. Keep the other bills for a couple months. Take a look at them. Make sure they're all lining up and that you're not seeing charges that don't make any sense. I personally over the summer called because I had a bill in August that was $16 for gas, which was too high. was $10 more. Well, here it was some weird service charge, and they took it off because it was a mistake, you know? Much like my electric bill now. They're going to send me a new bill. They've done a completely new reading. And that's another thing I would leave you with. Do not back down from them when they start to tell you that, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. Tell them you will not pay the bill until they do a physical meter reading. And they're going to tell you, oh, you know, if you don't pay your bill, we'll put you in collection. Great, whatever. Don't listen to them. You can also just pay exactly what you pay every month or had been paying previously until they come out and read your meter. So that's what I'm leaving with you today, guys. Audit your fixed expenses. Even though they're fixed, audit them, see if there are ways that you can decrease them, and keep on top of them and make sure that you're not being overcharged, that there aren't being mistakes made or misreadings of meters, and just stay on top of them. And it's a good way to save yourself money. And do not let them do an automated account, because once they take the money, oh, there's Lucky, hi Lucky, it's very hard to get it back from them. So I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. I hope you give this video a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.